Contingency plan code, the Eagle. Subject, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Born in 1988 and raised in the mountains of Dagestan, in a small place known as Sildi. Endowed with the ultimate genes of his ancestors, young Khabib sculpted his body into a fighting machine. His warrior spirit results from growing up in a war zone where his compatriots learned to triumph through struggle. His skills were sharpened by the rigorous training he went through daily with the other super Dagestanis on the team. Nurmagomedov spent his youth fighting on the street, training in hand-to-hand combat and even wrestling bears. His simple lifestyle allows him to live only on bread and water, making him simple yet unbreakable. The Eagle honed his craft in his amateur days where he went through the fires of Russian competition that prepared him for successful professional conquests. Overtraining is only a myth for him. Nurmagomedov is a multiple world sambo champion and former undefeated UFC champion with 29 wins and 3 title defences. His superpowers primarily include unrelenting cardio that eliminates any possibility of him getting tired and beaten. This allows him constant attacks and pressure, ready to fight all night. The Eagle's favourite fighting tool, apart from himself, is the cage fence. He does everything to squeeze the opponent against it and thus taking him to his domain, the ground. Khabib's strength and understanding of weight placement doubles his body weight when he's on an opponent who will have a hard time taking him off. These two trump cards only add to his ultimate power, which is an alien wrestling skill. So far, he has not found quality wrestling resistance in any of his elite opponents, and all of them have fallen under Dagestani pressure. This ultimate power, in addition to crushing opponents, first neutralises all of their abilities, thus ridding him of any threat the fighters bring to the cage. After meeting the main condition, bringing the opponent to the extreme limit of fatigue, Khabib switches to the finishing blow, for which there are 2 ways: ground and pounding his competition or ending them with his submission expertise. But unfortunately for his opponents, even if he doesn't finish them, time is on Khabib's side. Once the time is up, Nurmagomedov is victorious on the scorecards in 100% of the cases. All of the above would not have been possible without his disciplined way of life and the religion from which he derives all his power. His motto is to win no matter what, and his ultimate goal is to become the best fighter in the world. As for the recipe for winning against a seemingly perfect fighter, there aren't many, but they exist. You can always use firearms. That's what Dustin Poirier said though. Many had a formula for success against Nurmagomedov, but it would always fall apart when the cage closed. We would have to find a worthy opponent that Khabib has never had before, which is quite difficult considering that he was winning against the best. However, none of them are at the level of George St. Pierre, who has the potential to be Khabib's kryptonite. George could match him in the grappling department, as he is considered one of the greatest wrestlers in the UFC even today, which is incredibly impressive because he doesn't come from a wrestling background. Khabib's wrestling combinations and tricks would certainly not have the same percentage of success as usual. With his explosiveness, GSP could get rid of Khabib's tight grips, not allowing to trap him. The Rush has managed to take down many D1 wrestlers, and there is no doubt he could put Nurmagomedov down and make him defend off his back, which is one of the positions he was rarely in. After neutralising the ultimate superpower, it would be a question of who is the better striker, and success leans towards the Rush. His distance control with a championship jab would make it very difficult for Khabib because he couldn't come near him. On the other hand, the same shot would reset him every second, keep him at a distance and disable his pressure against the fence. Considering that Nurmagomedov is said to be a weight bully, GSP could bring him into his division, where he's considered to be the best welterweight of all time. The weight change could reduce Khabib's abilities, and he would be playing the game on enemy's field. This would be an epic showdown, and the Rush is the only one who has a chance to pull it off.